It's your boy JD back with another video. Today I will be showing you how to do a valve cover gasket on a 2017 Hyundai Sonata. First thing you want to do is go ahead and disconnect both your breather hoses. As you can see, I've done so already. You might need to use a small pick to break around the seals, but once you break around the seals and push this up, you can go ahead and just pull both of these off. What you want to do next is go ahead and take out all of your connectors. Then after that, you want to go ahead and get you a 19 line wrench, so you can go ahead and take off this fuel line to the high pressure fuel pump. And also you want to take this one off next. So I'm going to do that now. Now fuel will start to come out of line once you crack it loose. What you want to do is go ahead and have a rag underneath. So once you go ahead and get that off, and as you can see, some fuel squirted out right there. So once you go ahead and get that off, go ahead and just push it back like that, and then next we're going to take off this next fuel line. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to remove these two tins, and instead of disconnecting this line, because I realize this isn't a hard line like this one, I'm going to just take out the two tins, pick up the high pressure fuel pump, and sit it to the side. That way it's out of my way, and then I can finish doing my valve cover. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And some fuel will come out, so just be careful. Alright, now as you can see, I have disconnected my high pressure fuel pump, and I still have the one fuel line attached, the bendable one. And then the next one, the metal hard line, what I did was I went ahead and just pushed it out of the way just a little bit. You do not want to bend this too much, but I did bend it just enough so I can get my valve cover off. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and disconnect all of my coil packs, and you should have these unplugged already. After I disconnect my coil packs, I'm going to take off these two tins, one right here and one right here, and then this whole wiring assembly should come back. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now for you. Alright, now that I have my coil packs removed, I'm going to go ahead and remove this now. Oh, you also have one more tin right there that I didn't see. Alright, so you want to go ahead and just move this out of your way. And then you can start taking off your bolts around the actual valve cover. They are 10mm bolts. So once you go ahead and take those off, you go ahead and start to pry up on your valve cover. To get your bracket out of the way more, you go ahead and pry up on these tabs. That way it can give you more space. Alright, I also do want to mention that there are 3 bolts that goes through the middle of the valve cover that I did not mention. And also there are 2 more around the high pressure fuel pump. So once you get those out, these 3 in the middle, and then all the bolts around the side, you'll be able to take your valve cover off. Now you will have to pry to get it off. Just pry around the corners and you should get it off. If you are prying too hard, it means you still have a bolt in somewhere. But once you pry it off, you can go ahead and flip it over, and you can take off your gaskets, as I've done so already. And then you can put on your new gaskets and then repeat the process. Also, you do want to make sure that you clean off the surface with a Scotch-Brite, and it will have little bits of RTV. You can go ahead and scrape that off with a razor blade, and you can put RTV back in those corners that you see it in already. So once you do that and you put your new gasket on, you can go ahead and install the valve cover back. Alright, once you get your valve cover gasket back on and get your surface clean, you can go ahead and put your bolts back in. Now to torque your bolts, you want to do it in a star pattern, and you want to just make sure that it's hand tight. So go from this end to this end, then from this bolt to this bolt, and just do that until you have all of your bolts tight, and make sure that it's hand tight. You do not want to over tighten them. Alright, now once you get your valve cover on and your bolts torqued, you can go ahead and put your high pressure fuel pump back on. Then after you put that on and put the bolts back in, you go ahead and put your coil plate back in. When putting your high pressure fuel pump line back on, you do want to make sure that the line is all the way on. So once you get the line pretty close, kind of like this, at the same time, you want to go ahead and push this nut up and get it all the way tight. Pause.